Hey guys, what's going on? Ernest Wheels here. It's been a little while, about 3 days since my last video. Um, Long weekend, a lot of good stuff going on with the family, trying to make sure our garden is good, that type of thing. Um, but I'm back, and I'm back to talk to you um, just about some more about the value of silver. In this video, what we're going to be doing is comparing silver's value to currencies around the world. And I want to point something out. Um, I, I believe that gold is already hyperinflated in U.S. dollars simply because it is over $1,000 an ounce. It's pretty much been like that since the financial crisis. Gold peaked at 1900 over $1,900 in 2011 before coming down some. Um, Now, when you think about that and the fact that gold used to be $20 an ounce when the Federal Reserve was established in 1913, and then after World War II, it was about $50 an ounce, and then Nixon took us off the gold standard, and gold went from about $35 an ounce to $800 an ounce in less than a decade. That is over I believe that's over 2,000% return on investment. Um, Now, why did it go that high? Um, when Nixon depegged gold from the dollar from gold, um, the dollar at that point had no rock, it had no foundation. It was just a receipt. And so um, gold hasn't gone up in value, um, dollars have. In 1980, a Big Mac cost 0.13 ounces of gold. Today, in 2017, the Big Mac still costs 0.13 ounces of gold, but the dollar value has changed. 1980, it was about a dollar, some about a dollar. Today, it's about $4. So, um, gold has not changed. Gold and silver, they do not change. The dollar value changes because the dollar depreciates. And so, simply because gold is well over $1,000 an ounce, I believe that our dollar is already hyperinflating. It's only going to get worse. Gold has nowhere to go but up, as does silver. But silver is still pretty cheap um, in this country. If you do a little bit of research, there are not many countries uh, or currencies where silver is in the tens, like teens, like 20s, 30s dollars an ounce. Um, Euros, dollars, Swiss francs, Canadian dollars. Um, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Everywhere in the East. I'm sorry, not the East. The West. We're the West. America and Europe. We're the West. East is Russia, China, um, South America. Those nations. So everywhere in the West, gold. I'm sorry, silver is still about in the teens, but everywhere else, no. It's look at the Chinese yuan. Um, Look at how much it costs. An ounce of silver costs in Chinese yuan. Look at how much an ounce of silver costs in Indian rupees. Look at how much an ounce of silver costs in Russian rubles. Look at how much an ounce of silver costs in I don't know um, Venezuela. And the government numbers are not official. They say for every $1 you can buy 10 Venezuelan bolivars. It's not true. It's way more than that. Those are just fixed government prices, which that's how it is in many places. Look at the Japanese yen, uh, thousands of yen to buy an ounce of silver. Silver is already hyperinflated in many of these other nations. It's because the value of their currency has gone down. The only places on the world, in the world on the planet, um, that has to catch up are the Western nations, um, the nations that deal with the euro, Switzerland, the Swiss franc, Canada, and the United States of America. That's it. Um, and there's so much debt in these nations. I mean, come on, we're at $20 trillion in debt. Um, Total debt. That's just government debt. Total debt in this nation is over $60 trillion, not including unfunded liabilities. Medicare, Medicaid, disability, Social Security. Um, we can't afford these things. Derivatives. Look at Europe. I mean, Italy. Almost every bank in Italy is in serious trouble. Obviously, Deutsche Bank in Germany is in serious trouble. Um, you have I believe the French elections, April 23rd of this month. Um, you have a lot of things taking place, and Europe is not in good shape financially. We keep hearing about Greece. We keep hearing about all of these banks in these various countries that are having issues. Italy, Spain, Germany. We're talking about very, very, very large economies that are having banking issues. These are the only places in the world where silver is relatively cheap in relationship with their currency. But yet, these places are having serious banking issues. It's because these banks are about to go under and silver is about to hyperinflate just like it has in every other nation. Um, it's already hyperinflated. The same way gold is hyperinflated here already, silver's going to do that soon. I mean, just look at it. Around the year 2000, gold was about $200-300 an ounce. Um, Now it's over 1,200. That's a 400% increase. And it was way higher. It was almost 2,000 an ounce. And so it's very, very clear that when these banks and this debt starts to blow up, silver's going to blow up in these nations, America, the European nations, Canada, places like that. Um, so again, it's all about protection. It's all about preserving your purchasing power. If you kept $10,000 from 1950 up till now, that $10,000 doesn't buy you anywhere what it used to. $10,000 in 1950 bought you a pretty nice house. $10,000 now can't even buy you a shack. But if you had kept $10,000 worth of gold, then that would have been about, let's see, at 1950 was that gold was about $35 an ounce. So 10,000 divided by that, that'd have been about 3,000 ounces of gold, more or less 3,000 ounces of gold. Uh, if you had 3,000 ounces of gold now, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Uh, that's a lot of money that you would have. That's millions. It's millions of dollars. It's about 3 million, something like that. But it's very clear that um, gold. I hope I did that math right. I'm a math teacher. I should. But it's very clear that gold preserves its purchasing power, as does silver. And uh, we have a small window of opportunity to protect ourselves because silver is still cheap in US dollars. But if you go to these other nations, China, Japan, South Korea, Russia, any nation in Africa, any nation in South America, silver is very expensive in relationship to their currency. It's as expensive as gold is here. So uh, it would just be wise to protect yourself. Um, it's quite simple. Do a little bit of research on the price of silver outside of America and understand that silver is already hyperinflated around the world. Just hasn't happened here, and of course it hasn't happened here because we have these large banks that are creating these contracts that control the price of silver rather than the actual metal, the value of the metal controlling the price of silver. But if you do some research, you will realize that at some point, um, the banks that create these contracts, that get into debt to create these contracts, they have to pay for the debt. And when they can't pay, that is when the system, the Ponzi scheme system that controls the price of silver, that's when that will break down and silver will go to its true value, whatever that is. I don't know what that is priced in dollars, but I just know what it is priced in time. Um, 1 ounce of silver is worth 2 weeks worth of work. So just calculate that when it comes to days, weeks, months, years, whatever. It's all about time. Your retirement is all about how much free time you have. If your retirement runs out, you don't have free time anymore. You got to work. And so it's all about time. That's why I think silver is so valuable, is because it's a true measure of time, and gold. Silver and gold are true measures of time. They're not debt. They're not borrowed money. They're real money. They exist. If you have it, it's yours. It doesn't belong to anybody else. No third party, nothing like that. It's real money. It's not debt based. It's not owed to somebody else. I'll say the same thing over and over and over again. Every dollar that exists on the planet belongs to somebody else. The dollars in my bank account do not belong to me. They belong to someone else. Every dollar is an IOU. Every dollar is a promise of a future payment. So it is not sustainable. It is not real money because it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to someone else. It belongs to whoever the debt is owed to. Um, we have $20 trillion just in government debt, yet the money supply, the currency supply, the dollar supply is at 13 trillion. How is that possible? Because we have borrowed that money into existence. You go get a loan for a car. They don't have that money on the books. They borrow that money into existence. They type the digit in and it creates currency. It's not in paper form though. It's in digital form. And that's why you have more debt than you do printed dollars. And that's why all of those dollars that are printed are owed to somebody else and some. The only way to pay it off is to print more dollars, but every time you print more dollars, you have to borrow it into existence. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's the same thing Bernie Madoff did. Bernie Madoff was doing his thing for almost 50 years before he got caught. We have been living on this Ponzi scheme since 1971, almost 50 years. We're about to get caught. So don't get caught with your pants down. Uh, Consider investing in gold and silver. Do some research. It's not financial advice. It's just some information I'm putting out there. But do some research. Protect yourself and your family. Um, Gold and silver saved lives during World War II. It helped people get out because the currencies went bad. When you have war, currencies they get bad, and we're close to war. I mean, everybody sees it. Russia, China, North Korea. I mean, we have a lot of enemies now. We're very close to war, and so you want to protect yourself in case of economic collapse, in case of another Great Depression, which I believe we're coming into because we just can't do anything with the debt. We can't even service the interest on the debt. So I believe we're coming into that. When those things happen, you have major wars, all of this military buildup. Um, we live in very uncertain times. Because we live in uncertain times, you want to do what's safe. You want to do what is wise to protect yourself. And that's investing in gold and silver. I do it through International Silver Network. Started a home-based business through ISN, and I use that to stack and to create income for myself, my wife, and my 3 kids. If you are interested in learning more, click on the link in the description and just take a tour. Visit the website, see what it's about, see if it's something that fits you. But even if you don't, um, please consider protecting yourself with gold and silver. How much should you buy? I don't know. That's your choice. That's your decision. I know what I want. I know what I need for myself personally, for my family. You got to make that decision on your own. Um, I'm not saying go out and buy it tomorrow because everything's gonna crash tomorrow. I don't know when it's gonna break down, but when it does, it's going to be um, very different than how things are now. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Um, Silver's hyperinflated around the world, everywhere except for Western nations. But it's coming here because our banks are failing, our debts are um, hitting the fan, and we can't pay them back. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. It's not a good sign because that means it costs more to borrow money. If it costs more to borrow money, people don't borrow. If people don't borrow, the system collapses because the system requires debt to function. It's that simple. You get a credit card and you buy stuff with the credit card. In order to pay the credit card back, you get another credit card. At some point, you won't be allowed to get any more credit cards. That's where we are now as a nation, as a government, as a people. We've maxed out our credit cards and we need some real cash, real funds, real money. Only thing that's real money is gold and silver. Um, so that's it. Uh, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless. If you like the video, comment, subscribe, um, like, share with anybody who you think you might give them some value. Wish y'all the best, and I'll see y'all soon. Take care.